welcome to these tales. It feels like a dream, as if I've been cast in a movie I never wished to be part of. Imagine the scene. A man arrives home unannounced, steps through the door, and is greeted by sounds that stir a tumult of emotions within him, blending fear with a deep yearning. Soft murmurs that echo in the darkness. Soft murmurs that unveil, with a poignant clarity, that the reality he trusted is nothing more than a delicate facade. That was us, indeed. There is often discussion about the decision to flee or to confront the tempest head-on. However, there lies a third route, one that feels frigid, one that pierces profoundly. I steadied myself, maintaining my poise, and suppressed the pain that lingered just beneath the surface. No, I undertook an endeavor that only a select few would have the bravery to accept. Ultimately, it changed the trajectory of our lives for good. I cradled her heart delicately in my palms. I captured her heart, but at what price? In a heartbeat, I turned the tables, and by the time she grasped the change, the opportunity had faded, leaving behind a lingering, bittersweet sensation. However, we should take our time with this matter. Allow me to take you back to a moment in history, a time when trust remained intact, before the unraveling began. Back to the time when I clung to the delicate vision of us. My name is Daniel. At 27, I thought my life was flawless, but recently, everything changed. Since I was 27, I've journeyed through the challenging landscape of construction, evolving from the role of a laborer to the esteemed position of project manager. I have never been daunted by effort. It's intricately intertwined with my essence. I've always believed that when you invest your soul into something, it can result in something genuinely meaningful. I believed I had shaped my life flawlessly, much like my professional journey, yet I was unaware of the delicate nature of my marriage. Olivia has reached the age of 24. There's an irresistible allure to her, a comforting embrace that envelops you like a hidden truth, pulling you nearer than you ever planned. She possesses a unique ability to captivate those around her, her laughter resonating in the most surprising locations, be it the grocery store, the gas station, or anywhere else. It's as though she possesses a hidden truth that infuses each moment with a thrilling energy, tantalizingly elusive. There was an undeniable allure about her, a captivating force that seemed almost inappropriate yet was undeniably genuine. I found myself captivated, just as all the others were. Our journeys intertwined amidst the beautiful turmoil of our early 24s. At 27, I felt an undeniable attraction to her, a 24-year-old filled with aspirations, just beginning her journey as an elementary school teacher. After a long day of crafting aspirations downtown, my friend ushered me into a bar, where the atmosphere hummed with untold potential. It was in that moment that I first noticed her, laughter flowing effortlessly from her lips, her dark brown hair falling gracefully over her shoulders as she recounted a tale that held everyone in her thrall. I'm not usually one to engage with unfamiliar faces, yet there was an irresistible attraction that drew me to her. Thus, I proceeded to do so. Our bond ignited without delay. She valued my constant presence, finding solace in the assurance that I was always by her side. Her spirit was intoxicating, a vibrant light that twirled through the ordinary, transforming each moment into a hidden gem. Our first date arrived merely a week later, and from that moment, we were intertwined, unable to escape the magnetic attraction drawing us together. After 3 years, I finally gathered the courage to ask her to be mine. It was a tranquil evening, the two of us enveloped in the warmth of our beloved steakhouse. Her smile illuminated the space, and before I could gather my thoughts, she softly uttered yes, capturing a moment that was both thrilling and intoxicatingly tender. Half a year later, we promised ourselves to each other in an intimate ceremony by the glistening lake, the surroundings blurring into the background, with only a handful of dear friends and family present, nothing ostentatious. As she moved closer, my heart quickened, ensnared in a moment that seemed both exquisite and heartbreakingly transient. Her presence enveloped me in a captivating beauty, and I sensed that this joy carried an undercurrent of unexpressed desire. Our abode was a modest 2-story structure, yet it carried the burden of our hidden aspirations. I dedicated nearly a year to this endeavor, infusing every space with new floors, vibrant paint, and a backyard that hinted at untold possibilities. It was a setting that murmured of eternity, where aspirations of joy and affection floated through the atmosphere, and the idea of a shared tomorrow seemed both delightful and tantalizingly unattainable, merely a commonplace life. She was a type of educator who enchanted her students, infusing her classroom with joyful energy and leaving encouraging notes on every piece of work, stirring a sense of something profound in the atmosphere. Her parents cherished her, her colleagues respected her, and I thought she was the most extraordinary presence that had ever graced my life. My days were engulfed by the unyielding pressures of overseeing construction projects, where each hour seamlessly flowed into the next, brimming with obstacles that required resolution. Amidst the chaos, I discovered an unusual excitement in the task at hand. Creating something tangible was exhilarating, a hidden delight that resided deep within my soul. Yet, the most delightful aspect was the anticipation of reuniting with Olivia, the one who turned every instant into a cherished gem. She embodied all my desires, or so I believed at one time. One often fails to recognize the instant when everything starts to fall apart, don't you think? It's far from the cinematic portrayals where bold acts demand the spotlight. Instead, there are no sirens blaring, no heavy pauses, just subtle, hidden transformations. Maybe it was the slight change in her daily habits, the way she quietly exited the house a little earlier each day, or how she started coming back later, brushing it off with a nonchalant remark about extended staff meetings. Maybe it was the way she seemed absorbed in her own thoughts, how her laughter would suddenly erupt at something on her phone, only to disappear as she swiftly turned the screen away when I got closer. I noticed the indications, yet I refrained from inquiring. Isn't that the essence of trust? To place faith in another, even when the shadows of uncertainty hover nearby. In the quiet of our evenings together, whether we curled up on the couch with a book or I found solace in the garage, I refrained from addressing the unvoiced tension that hung in the air between us. Our love remained a hidden treasure, one we could never wholly accept. It was bound to happen. I cherished her, and it seemed like a hidden truth we could never reveal. I think she shared those feelings as well. We have always been the kind to maintain our composure, even in moments of frustration. Naturally, we had our disagreements, just like anyone else. Maybe I became too absorbed in the garage, investing my soul into endeavors that distanced me from reality. Perhaps she yearned for a flicker of excitement, a hint of fervor that seemed tantalizingly close yet forever elusive. Regardless of the miles or the challenges in our way, we consistently found our way back to each other. Or at least, that's what my heart murmured in the darkness. In those hushed instances of contemplation, I find myself sensing that her choice had been made well before our universe fell apart. If she had already decided that what we had was no longer sufficient for her. Yet, I remained completely oblivious to everything happening around me. In that ephemeral instant, joy enveloped me like a hidden, exhilarating delight. Or at least, I found a certain peace in overlooking the delicate cracks that loomed over us, ready to tear us asunder. Who could endure the thought that the life they've shaped, the affection they've cultivated, is simply a delicate mirage, poised to shatter at any instant? Not me, if you don't mind. It was only in the fleeting passage of time that I truly grasped the profound nature of our connection. That morning unfolded like any other, yet an electric anticipation hung in the air, suggesting an unvoiced excitement just beneath the surface. As dawn broke, I awoke at 6, the scent of coffee enveloping me like a whispered secret. I stayed on the porch, heart pounding, relishing those precious moments before the world beckoned me to leave. The air was crisp, infused with the alluring aroma of freshly mown grass from the neighbor's yard, evoking memories of fleeting moments captured in the twilight. Olivia lingered in her room, immersed in the familiar process of selecting her outfit, perhaps reaching for one of those delicate floral dresses or that soft pink jumper that enveloped her in warmth, a gentle shield against the world beyond. I placed my cup aside, the warmth still enveloping my hands, and softly pressed a kiss to her forehead, a brief yet tender moment before venturing into the world beyond. Her smile illuminated the space, a well-known glimmer that stirred something profound inside him. "Wishing you a wonderful day," she murmured, her gaze resting on him for a heartbeat longer than necessary. "Indeed," I responded, oblivious to the fact that those seemingly simple words would morph into a harsh irony by the time the day concluded. Initially, everything seemed commonplace, yet beneath the facade, a glimmer ignited, suggesting the presence of something deeper. A series of moments, intertwined with the heaviness of unexpressed emotions, the ever-familiar turmoil of time-eluding grasp. As the hour of lunch drew near, a disquieting sensation began to surface. My heart pounded, and an unexpected surge of lightheadedness engulfed me, rendering me gasping for air. Maybe it was the oppressive heat, or perhaps it was just one of those days when the heart longed for something deeper, something it recognized it ought not to desire. Regardless, my supervisor witnessed everything. "You look pale," he remarked, his gaze shifting with worry as he took a break from his tasks. "Depart at once. Seek comfort within your dreams. Rest assured, we'll handle everything on this end. Just keep by my side." Words eluded me as I sought to voice my dissent. I collected my belongings, got into my truck, and started the short drive home, my heart weighed down by words left unsaid. The memory lingers of that brief notion, an afternoon spent elsewhere as a delightful reprieve, if only for a little while. With Olivia still at work, I found myself sinking into the couch, enveloped by the stillness, maybe giving into a film or slipping into a reverie, as the outside world seemed to hover just beyond our reach, a reminder of what might always elude us. Simply release it. As I pulled into the driveway, an unsettling tension enveloped the atmosphere. Some emotions elude my ability to articulate them. The house seemed the same, but it was laden with unvoiced memories. The azure shutters, the fragile blooms Olivia had tenderly arranged by the entrance, murmured tales of a romance that was at once enchanting and forbidden. The outside world paused, enveloped in a delicate stillness. Yet, an unusual, heavy feeling settled in my chest, akin to the pause before a whispered promise. I set it aside, turned the key, and stepped through the doorway. The initial sensation was the gentle hum of the air conditioning, while the house enveloped me in a comforting embrace. It felt stifling, in a way. The heat that sparks when two bodies come together in a space where warmth becomes a hidden, exhilarating thrill beneath the midday sun. As I drew nearer, a soft whisper floated to my ears. A noise reverberated from the dark corners of the dwelling. Gentle, far off, yet unmistakably vivid. My heart raced, reverberating in my ears like an unspoken desire. I stood in the doorway, my heart pounding, fervently wishing it was merely a creation of my mind. Perhaps Olivia had come back early, absorbed in a realm on the screen, oblivious to the silent tension hanging in the atmosphere. Maybe the wind brought murmurs from another realm, tantalizing her awareness with a suggestion of the illicit. Yet, deep within my soul, I grasped the reality. I glided silently through the darkness, my pulse quickening as the floorboards murmured softly under my feet. The sounds grew louder, breathless whispers and soft gasps, the kind that ought to stay concealed, tightening a knot in my stomach, so constricted it took my breath away. I found myself at the threshold of the bedroom door, my heart pounding with anticipation, fully aware that what awaited me on the other side was a mix of excitement and peril. The door was slightly open. The door stood just a crack open. I stood still, uncertain if I was prepared to confront the reality that lay beyond. And there she stood, a sight that awakened something profound inside me. She embodied all the reasons I should steer clear, yet my heart quickened at just the idea of her. My hidden affection, forever accompanied. The air was thick with silence, a delicate tension that conveyed so much without a word being said. All is clear, no further clarification required. A fleeting sight of them makes my heart race. She found herself wrapped in the embrace of an unfamiliar figure, a vision that stirred something profound inside me. My heart pounded, my hands gripped firmly at my sides. Yet I restrained myself, remained quiet, and kept the tempest within me from erupting like a scene from a movie. Instead, a piece of me fell into shadow. My fingers quivered as I retrieved my phone from my pocket, lifting it just enough to capture the scene unfolding before my eyes. I averted my gaze, etching the moment into my mind, fully aware that there was no way to return. With a weighty heart, I walked away, my footsteps resonating through the corridor. I opened the front door, feeling the cool air caress my skin, and allowed it to close gently behind me, shutting out what could never be. I hardly managed to close it. I lingered on the porch steps, my heart pounding with unexpressed thoughts. Silence wrapped around me, a hidden truth securely nestled in my soul. I turned away, burdened by the weight of unexpressed thoughts, and I never allowed myself to look back. I sat in my truck, my fingers gripping the steering wheel tightly, a tempest of feelings churning within me. My whole essence was coiled tight, a delicate strain teetering on the edge of shattering, craving liberation in the most perilous manner. The atmosphere in the cab was dense, sweltering, almost stifling, yet I found myself completely absorbed, unaware of anything except for him. My heart raced, ensnared in a tempest of thoughts, endlessly reliving that singular forbidden moment. Olivia, wrapped up with him in a manner that was exhilarating and unrefined. Her face remained etched in his thoughts, a poignant recollection that sparked a flame inside him, yet seemed forever unattainable. Her hands quivered, caught in a delicate dance between desire and trepidation. The intensity of her gaze, filled with an unvoiced emotion, sent a thrill coursing through him. Their hands brushed, a brief contact that sparked a flame inside. In that instant, everything else disappeared, leaving just the heaviness of their unspoken emotions. It was a bond that pulsed with excitement and risk, a hidden truth I clung to, the energy coursing through me like a tempest on the verge of unleashing. The rage enveloped me, a blazing inferno poised to devour all that lay before it. However, it certainly wasn't the type that ignited reckless enthusiasm, not at all. This sensation was akin to a chill that penetrated the heart, even more profound. A fragment of my being seethed with anger, yet I compelled myself to turn away, for the audacity of intruding upon my sacred space was too much to bear. I longed for the instant our eyes met, yearning to see that elusive feeling dancing in his gaze, hungered for the echo of his urgent whispers. All I longed for was for Olivia to meet my eyes, to grasp the turmoil she had set free inside me. However, that would be overly simplistic, too direct. It's strikingly obvious. Definitely not. This needed to be more ingenious. It needed to be an unexpected twist, something that would truly take them by surprise. I took a deep breath, the air escaping me as I fought to collect my scattered thoughts. Every part of me ached to reach out, to bridge the distance between us, but I understood of my desires, the danger in surrendering to them. I had to be careful. And then, it struck me like a whisper in the night. My heart raced as I reached for my phone, trying to steady my breath, and made the call I never thought I'd have to make. I shut my eyes for just a heartbeat, trying to find my voice amidst the chaos of my feelings. As I spoke, my words danced on the edge of desire, a delicate balance of longing and hesitation. My heart races as chaos erupts within these walls, a storm of emotions swirling around me, leaving me breathless and terrified. My neighbor's voice trembled as they called, whispering about the haunting screams echoing from my home. I whispered, my voice trembling, filled with an unspoken longing. My wife isn't picking up. It's unsettling, like a secret hanging in the air. I can feel the weight of her struggle. In that moment, urgency filled the air as the dispatcher's voice cut through the silence, probing for my address, searching for any whispers of clarity in the chaos. I revealed just enough to spark their interest, but held back the details that could lead to questions. I spoke with a desperate urgency, my heart racing, as if I were a lover fearing for the one I cherished most. Her voice was a soft whisper, laced with urgency, promising that help was near, yet I felt a thrill of fear and longing intertwine within me. I ended the call, my heart racing, before they could pry any deeper. And then, I lingered in the silence, heart racing with unspoken desires. Each second lingered, heavy with unspoken longing, as if time itself conspired against them. I tapped my fingers nervously on the steering wheel, my gaze fixed on the house, on the window that framed our secret world. I pictured Olivia within those walls, blissfully ignorant that everything was about to shift forever. Moments later, the piercing red and blue light sliced through the warm afternoon air, a stark reminder of the world that kept them apart. 2 patrol cars arrived, their lights casting a flickering glow on the pavement, a stark reminder of the tension in the air. Doors swung open, revealing 3 officers, their hands poised on holsters, expressions steely and intent, attention crackling in the air. I leaned back, hidden yet so near, my heart racing as I stole glances. One officer stepped closer to the front door, his knock echoing with an urgency that sent a shiver down her spine. Whispers of danger linger in the air. Let me in. Whispers of longing linger in the air. My heartbeat echoed in the silence, a steady rhythm that felt both exhilarating and dangerous. Another knock echoed through the silence. Whispers of danger linger in the air, a thrill that ignites the heart. We need you to let us in. Nothing yet. Olivia's heart raced, her thoughts tangled in a whirlwind of longing. I stole a glance at the street, my heart racing as I peered at the neighbors' houses. A curtain fluttered in the house across the way, a whisper of something unspoken lingering in the air. Eyes lingered in the shadows, curiosity mingling with a hint of longing, as if the world around us held its breath, caught in a moment that felt both electric and wrong. Perfect. Let them watch, let them whisper. The lead officer shared a fleeting glance with his partner, a silent understanding passing between them, before he hesitantly reached for his radio. He knocked, heart racing, but silence lingered in the air. There are moments that pull at the heart, where urgency intertwines with desire, and the thrill of the unknown beckons. We're stepping into the unknown. And then, in an instant, everything changed. But, the echo of the door shattering, a heart-racing moment of chaos and fear, the kind of sound that sends a shiver through your heart, a sound that transforms a mundane afternoon into an unforgettable memory, lingering in the heart, like a secret longing. The air was thick with unspoken words, and I could feel the pull of something I shouldn't want. It played in my mind like a secret dream, vivid and aching. The officers burst through the door, guns raised, voices sharp and commanding. Olivia and her lover, hearts racing, lost in a whirlwind of confusion and fear, feeling the weight of their secret world crashing down around them. I could almost see the surprise in her eyes as the truth dawned on her. I could almost feel the icy grip of fear in her lover's eyes as he stood there, overwhelming emotion, confronted by the looming presence of law enforcement. Text, I could almost hear Olivia's breath hitch, her words tumbling out in a flurry, struggling to find the right ones, to make it all clear between us. Yet, no words could bridge the silence. Trapped in a whirlwind of longing, she was ensnared. I leaned back against the headrest, eyes fluttering shut, as the storm of emotion swirled around me, chaotic and intoxicating. And for the first time that day, perhaps for the first time in ages, I felt a spark of power within me. The house transformed from a cozy haven to a whirlwind of turmoil in an instant. The front door hung limply, a broken reminder of the chaos that had unfolded, its splintered edges whispering secrets of a moment too intense to forget. The sounds wrapped around me, a haunting melody of unspoken feelings and hidden desires. Come closer. Fingers trembling, hearts racing, caught in a moment we shouldn't share. The air was thick with tension, a sudden shift that echoed through the room, ending in a weighty silence that felt almost too intimate. He fell, a sudden crash against the earth, the weight of unspoken feelings pressing down on him. Then came the desperate cries, echoing through the air. What on earth? What's happening between us? Stay hidden. Stay right there. Fingers entwined, hearts racing. I hold on. What are we doing? This feels so wrong, yet I can't help but want more. We couldn't. A sharp sound pierced the air. I could see it vividly, the officers pressing him down. The sound of cuffs broke the silence, a sharp reminder of the choices that led us here. Another quiet rustle, a heartbeat caught in the silence. More turmoil. And then there was Olivia's voice, heart racing, lost in a whirlwind of feelings. What? What are you doing here? What is this feeling stirring within me? Her words tumbled out in a breathless rush, each one tripping over the next, filled with unspoken longing. Why? Why did you come here? What's going on? Her heart raced, caught in a whirlwind of disbelief. Her heart raced, caught in a whirlwind of confusion and longing. Her voice trembled, a fragile whisper laced with unspoken fear. Her heart raced as she watched him, bound and broken, being led away from their secret world, the weight of their love hanging heavy in the air. Olivia stood on the porch, her heart racing with a mix of longing and despair, as he vanished behind the darkened glass. I couldn't help but wonder what emotions were swirling inside her at that moment. Did fear grip her heart? Did she feel a rush of heat in her cheeks? Did she carry the same heavy shame that had twisted in my stomach just an hour before? My heart raced with uncertainty, but there was one thing I felt deep inside. She remained blissfully unaware of my hidden presence, the secret tether binding us in silence. The house loomed in shadows as I crept into the driveway, a sense of longing tightening in my chest. The porch light flickered softly, its warm glow spilling over the front steps, while the rest of the house lay shrouded in darkness. I lingered in my truck, fingers tight around the steering wheel, my gaze fixed on the house that held the echoes of my years with Olivia. It appeared unchanged from that morning, before the world had shattered around us. The same white shutters, a silent witness to stolen glances and whispered secrets. The familiar wind chimes on the porch, dancing softly in the twilight air. Yet, something deep within had shifted irrevocably. I inhaled sharply, letting the air escape slowly as I pushed the door open and stepped out of the truck. My boots crunched against the gravel as I approached the front door, unlocking it with a heart full of unspoken longing, as if it were just another night, but everything felt different, as if the world had turned a blind eye. The handyman swiftly fixed the broken door, but the lingering tension in the air spoke of unspoken feelings and stolen glances. The moment I crossed the threshold, an undeniable spark ignited within me. The tension hung heavy between them, the air thick with unspoken desires. Olivia stood by the sink, her back to me, a quiet tension hanging in the air between us. She stood there in her grey tank top and sweatpants, but somehow they felt charged with a new, unspoken tension. Crinkled, complicated, as if time had slipped away, she remained in that same place, her mind wandering through uncharted emotions. She hesitated, her heart racing, before finally turning around. Did she even notice my arrival? Or was she lost in her thoughts, struggling to grasp the weight of what had just unfolded? The clatter of my keys shattered the stillness, a reminder of the tension hanging in the air. She flinched, then spun around, her face drained of color, eyes glistening with unshed tears, lost in a world of their own. In that fleeting moment, silence enveloped us, heavy with unspoken words. I struggled to keep my voice steady. "Did you think of me today?" Olivia's lips trembled, a silent longing lingering in the air. Her fingers gripped the edge of the sink, a mix of longing and fear coursing through her veins. Her breath caught, a fleeting moment stretching into eternity. Then, in a whisper so soft it brushed against my heart, she spoke. It was a bittersweet moment, a fleeting whisper of what could never be. "All right," the word lingered between us, heavy and unspoken, like a secret we both feared to acknowledge. All right, as if the memory of her lover being taken away in handcuffs hadn't haunted her all day. All right, as if she were a ghost, lingering just out of reach, searching my eyes for secrets I dared not reveal. My gaze lingered on her, the air thick with unspoken words, as I held my breath, hoping she would break the stillness. If only she would find a reason to stay, a moment of clarity, a whisper of deceit. She couldn't. She stood there, a fragile tension in the air, her eyes pleading for me to break the silence. I couldn't. I brushed past her, heart racing, and sank into the couch, the air thick with unspoken words. Her gaze lingered on me, a silent plea for understanding, as if she could unravel the secrets hidden in my thoughts. I switched on the TV.